Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mind Your Newness channel. Today, I want to talk to you about an article that I shared on my Substack, and I want to share it all with you. It's what my solo art exhibit is teaching me. Now, you can check out the article in the link in the description below. Don't forget to follow me on Substack. Follow me here on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that hype button, and send me a gift if you feel led. But without any further ado, let's get into the article. Now, just 3 months ago, I was presented with the opportunity to do a solo art show at a well-respected gallery in my city. And I've participated in group shows over the years in this space and even sold some paintings at their events. To say I was blessed with this opportunity is an understatement. This was the moment I prayed for. I was all in and excited, but I knew I must get organized and set clear goals for the work I was about to begin. This ambitious undertaking fundamentally changed the way I approached my work. Creating a coherent body of work has its challenges. The first thing I needed to figure out was the date of the show. And my first inclination was to have it 4 to 5 months out from December, when I first learned of the opportunity in 2025. Now, after talking it over with the gallery, we agreed that I should take more time to develop the work. And believe me, I'm so glad I heeded that advice. My time limit has expanded to a complete year, and my work and my message is developing at a healthy pace. I don't feel rushed, and I'm developing my message as well as the quality of my work. Learning to create a body of work with similar characteristics is an area of growth that I've always struggled with. My art has always been spontaneous and diverse in style and in message, and I've always experimented with different techniques and mediums and explored diverse interests in my work. So narrowing down my broad view of art making to a singular message felt like stepping into unfamiliar territory. As I began to build out my work, I decided the best way to keep myself consistent was to create a color palette for all of my work. Given the fact that my subject was on the Palestinian struggle, I chose to use their flag colors as my standard. Now, this was the best decision that I've made in preparing me for this journey. The colors created harmony in the work I began to produce, and this gave me greater insight into my overall message. As the work progressed, I started finding ways to be more creative, introducing new tones, hues, and other colors that complemented my base and palette. Now, in the beginning, my fear was that a limited palette meant I would be painting the same painting repeatedly. However, my fear proved to be untrue. Sticking to a set color scheme has taught me how to use color more effectively in my work and revealed endless possibilities in the production of my work. One of the great advantages I have is time. However, experience taught me if you're not careful, time used unwisely can be a trap. Sometimes you can be led to believe that you have more time than you think and end up squandering it away. I've been there and I've done that. Procrastinators beware. A 6 month deadline can easily turn into 6 days if you're not careful. So, to avoid this pitfall, I set up a weekly quota of work that must be complete. The idea is to produce art at a consistent pace. I've done enough art exhibits to know that 2 or 3 weeks out from the show is not the best time to be creating art. The window of time before a show is hectic. It's the time you ought to be promoting and inviting people out. It's the time you should be selling yourself and laying the groundwork for your sales. Thankfully, these were the things I thought about from the onset of preparing for my show. Now, to be fair, I don't have it all figured out yet, but I do see progress every week I engage with my work. Most importantly, I see small shifts and growth in my work and message. So if you're preparing for a show, here are some additional tips you may find helpful. 1. Presentation matters. In fact, proper presentation is what will make the difference between a sale of your work or taking up space. Make sure your work is framed properly. The work should be clean, no marks or blemishes should be visible on the frame or matting, and the slightest imperfection can cause potential buyers to turn away. 2. Title and label your work appropriately and be accurate. Provide all the necessary information about your piece, including size, medium, and date. I always add a brief description to the work to give it context. This information is important to collectors and fosters engagement in your work. 3. Know your worth. When it comes to pricing your art, there's plenty to get wrong. Don't undercut yourself by not assessing your work correctly. There are problems to consider. First, figure out the cost of your materials. Either pass that cost on or mark it up to the consumer. Second, consider your time. Pay yourself an hourly rate and don't forget the time spent on sketches, research, phone and email conversations, and even trips back and forth to purchase art supplies. Your time is valuable. Time spent on a project should be factored in your final cost. Third, consider your ability. Here is where artists often miss the mark. They believe a lack of time served or experience automatically relegates them to a low pay scale. Or worse, a lack of confidence in their own work causes them to lowball their pricing. It's not easy to assess the value of your own work. However, there are professionals who can help. At a modest fee, you can find reputable artists who can review your portfolio and help you strengthen your presentation to attract paid gigs. 4. Review current Design and Illustration Association's reports on salary and freelance rates. A simple Google search can point you in the right direction. I found this helpful when I started out years ago, and it has helped me keep fair pricing in my work. Art shows have many components. There's plenty to consider when embarking on this journey, and this article is just the tip of the iceberg. You can expect lots of twists and turns, whether it's a solo or a group show. You'll meet your fair share of emergencies and even crises. And if you happen to be a curator, your organizational skills must go to a whole other level. Showing your work is serious business. It's hard work, but it's important work. Your name and reputation are tied to your work, so be nice. Avoid the myth of letting your work speak for itself, because that rarely happens. If you do not clearly define your work, someone else will, and you may not like how they characterize it. So take control, tell your story, and lead the viewer down the path you want them to go. The better you get at doing this, the easier the process will become from starting till opening night. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share. Don't forget to follow me on Substack and here on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe. I love you all. Yahweh bless, and I will talk to you all again soon.